The play Pericles, Prince of Tyre by William Shakespeare. A long time ago, in a land by the sea, there lived a young and noble prince named Pericles. He was kind, brave, and wise. He loved his people in Tyre, and they loved him too. But Pericles was also curious. He longed for adventure, for travel, and for the chance to see the wide world beyond his home. And so, his story begins with a dangerous journey to the kingdom of Antioch. In Antioch, the king had a beautiful daughter. Many men wanted to marry her, but the king did not give her away easily. He had made a challenge. Whoever wished to marry her must first solve a riddle. If the man failed, he would lose his life. Many tried. Many failed. Many were killed. Pericles was brave and clever. He decided to try. He stood before the king and the princess, and he listened to the riddle. He thought harder, and then the truth struck him like lightning. The riddle was not just a puzzle. It was a secret, a dark, terrible secret. The riddle's answer was this: the king was in love with his own daughter. The riddle was a trap to keep the secret hidden. Anyone who solved it would know the truth, and the king would never let them live. Pericles solved the riddle, but he did not say the answer aloud. He spoke carefully, choosing his words so that the king would know he understood, but the people around them would not. The king's eyes grew dark. He knew Pericles had discovered the truth. He smiled, but it was the smile of a wolf. Pericles saw danger in his eyes. He bowed, thanked the king, and quickly left Antioch. The king, furious, sent assassins to follow him. But Pericles was faster. He sailed away from Antioch and returned to Tyre. Back in Tyre, Pericles worried that Antiochus would still send killers. To protect his people, he decided to leave for a while. He sailed to the city of Tarsus. The people there were suffering from hunger. The governor, Cleon, and his wife, Dionysa, were in despair. Their people were weak and starving. When Pericles arrived with food from his ships, the people of Tarsus cheered with joy. Cleon and Dionysa bowed low and thanked him for saving their city. They promised to be his friends forever. Pericles smiled. He was glad he could help. He stayed for a little while, but then his heart called him onward. He returned to the sea, never knowing how important Tarsus would be in his story later. As Pericles sailed again, the skies grew dark. The sea roared. A great storm broke, smashing his ship into pieces. Pericles clung to a wooden plank and prayed. The waves tossed him high, then dragged him low. Finally, exhausted, he washed ashore in the land of Pentapolis. There, some kind fishermen found him. They gave him food, dried his clothes, and listened to his story. They told him exciting news. The king of Pentapolis, Simonides, was holding a tournament. Knights from all over had come to win the hand of his daughter, Tyre. The fishermen had found an old suit of armor in their nets, rusty and dented, but still usable. They gave it to Pericles. He decided to join the tournament. The tournament began. The knights marched in, shining in silver and gold armor. Pericles entered too, though his armor was old and rough. The people laughed at him, but Pericles did not care. One by one, he fought the other knights. He was quick, strong, and noble. In the end, Pericles won the prize. Princess Tyre noticed him. She saw not just a brave fighter, but a kind and gentle man. She admired him deeply. King Simonides watched closely. He saw the spark between his daughter and this mysterious stranger. At first, he pretended to be against their love, but when he saw that both truly cared for each other, he gave his blessing. Pericles and Tyre were married. Their hearts were full of joy. Time passed, and Tyre became pregnant. Pericles decided to return home to Tyre with his new wife. Together, they sailed across the sea. But once again, the ocean grew wild. Another storm struck. Thunder crashed. Waves smashed against the ship. In the middle of the storm, Tyre gave birth to a baby girl. They named her Marina, because she was born at sea. But the storm was too much for Theseus. She grew weak, and soon it seemed she had died. The sailors were afraid. They begged Pericles to place her in a wooden chest and let the sea take her, as sailors' customs demanded. Pericles wept, but he agreed. With tears in his eyes, he placed Theseus' body in the chest and set it afloat on the waves. The storm calmed. Pericles held his tiny baby, now motherless, and his heart broke. But Theseus was not truly dead. The sea carried the chest to the city of Ephesus, where it washed ashore. There lived a wise doctor named Saruman. He opened the chest and found Theseus inside. Her face was pale, but her body was warm. With herbs and careful medicine, Saruman brought her back to life. When Theseus awoke, she was weak but alive. She did not know where Pericles or her baby were. Believing them lost, she decided to live in Ephesus as a priestess of the goddess Diana. Meanwhile, Pericles still sailed with baby Marina. He stopped once more in Tarsus, where Cleon and Dionysa welcomed him again. Pericles asked them to care for Marina, since he still had dangerous travels ahead. They promised to raise her as their own. With a heavy heart, Pericles left his daughter there and sailed away. The years passed. Marina grew into a beautiful young woman. She was clever, kind, and graceful. Everyone praised her, but this made Dionysa jealous. Her own daughter was always compared to Marina, and Marina always shone brighter. Dionysa's jealousy grew into hatred. She decided to get rid of Marina. She ordered a servant to take Marina into the woods and kill her. But fate had other plans. Just as the servant prepared to do the terrible deed, pirates appeared. They captured Marina and carried her away to the city of Mytilene. In Mytilene, the pirates sold Marina to a brothel. But Marina was so pure, so wise, and so gentle that she changed everything. Men who came to see her found themselves ashamed of their desires. Instead of sin, she gave them words of wisdom. She spoke of honor and virtue. Her kindness shone like a bright light in a dark place. Even the ruler of Mytilene, Lysimachus, came to her. He, too, was touched by her goodness. Instead of treating her as a prisoner, he began to admire her. Back in Tyre, Pericles decided to visit Tarsus and see his daughter. But when he arrived, Cleon and Dionysa lied to him. They said Marina had died. They even showed him a false tomb. Pericles was crushed. He had lost his wife. He had lost his daughter. His heart was heavy with grief. He put on ragged clothes and sailed the seas in silence, refusing comfort. One day, Pericles' ship came near Mytilene, where Marina now lived. The people there learned of the sad prince who wandered in sorrow. The governor, Lysimachus, decided to help. He sent Marina to speak with him. When Marina began to talk, Pericles lifted his head. Her voice was gentle and kind. Her story was strange. She spoke of being taken from Tarsus, of being captured by pirates, of living far from home. Pericles listened closely. The more she spoke, the more he felt a spark of hope. Finally, he realized the truth. This was his daughter, Marina. They embraced with tears of joy. Father and daughter were reunited at last. That night, as Pericles slept, the goddess Diana came to him in a dream. She told him to go to her temple in Ephesus and give thanks. Pericles obeyed. He sailed with Marina and Lysimachus to Ephesus. There, he stood in the temple and told his story aloud, his riddles, his storms, his losses, his grief. When he finished, the high priestess came forward. It was Theseus, his wife, alive. The family embraced. Husband, wife, and daughter were together again after so many years of sorrow. Pericles gave his blessing for Marina to marry Lysimachus, who had shown her kindness and love. There was a great celebration. At last, the storms of Pericles' life were over. His family was safe. His heart was whole. And so, after many trials, Pericles, Prince of Tyre, lived happily ever after and the play ends with it. I hope you have enjoyed this, but please like the video and subscribe the channel. Thank you.